Welcome back, everybody, to my favorite show, Goonies World. My name is Meanie, also known as Ryan, and I'm, of course, joined by Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean.
Hey, it's my favorite show, too.
And, of course, Goonie, also known as Colin.
You know, I don't really care for this show too much, but...
Well, you're fired.
Sorry.
Now we have to call it Meanie's World, apparently.
Meanie's World.
I knew you would betray me someday.
And once again, joining us, our favorite female... I can't think of another F. Favorite female fellow adventurer? Maybe? I don't know. Lunicorn, also known as Lynn.
Hello. It's my favorite show, too.
All right, well,
Goonies.
We're on a team.
Goonies out, man.
Fist bump it.
It's 3 against 1. Solidarity. That's right.
Yep. And we're back. This is our last episode of this year, actually, and 2023. And we're going to wrap up our adventures into the odd. And at least for now.
I hate to interrupt. Yes. I'm just... When did we start? Was it 2019?
I believe so.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We've been around for a while.
I think it was June when we actually first published our first episode. When we started recording and before that. So,
wow.
I don't know. Someone can do the math, but it's been a while.
So we're going into our 5th year. Is that right?
That's probably right, because the first Halloween episode that I did with you guys was at Sean's house.
Oh, yeah, before COVID. That's right.
So it was definitely before COVID.
Yeah, it was definitely before
then.
Yeah, COVID drove us to begin recording remotely, looking at each other on a screen. And that's how a lot of gamers game these days. But when we started, it was just right at the table.
Yeah.
Of course, after COVID, we realized, it's kind of a pain in the ass to everybody drive to my apartment once a week for an hour, Because we do record these like once a week, like a regular gaming group. We just play for about an hour. And somebody asked me that, like a listener asked, do you guys play for like 4 or 5 hours and then edit it down? And we're like, no, we're just in and out once a week, boom, boom.
What? That for the most part, that's true. We have occasionally done marathon sessions and stuff like that when we've had time, but
yeah, we've done back-to-back episodes occasionally, but normally we're just an hour and a half once a week.
Get in, get out.
That's what we do. That's right. And we're gonna.
But when we're not recording, we do play for 3 or 4 hours.
Right, we also all play together
and non-recorded games.
We play together more than one, non-recorded game. This is a subset of a much bigger gaming group, and when we usually have guests, that's where we get them.
Exactly.
But today we will have our final Into the Odd for now, and our final episode of this year. And I don't know about a recap; it's kind of overwhelming after 5 episodes, but. You guys came to this distant land outside the village of Hope's End looking for the treasure of Father Moon. And boy, did you find it after an existential crisis within the shrine of the Star Child's skull. You found yourself now in a mirror dimension, as it were, because you climbed through a window in the last room that you came to, and it was a mirror of the room you had just been in, and it had all the Arcana laid out there on the table. But you went through, and it was a one-way trip. Now you've gone into that room, and all the Arcana here is real. You've realized the Arcana in the old room, in the real universe, was illusory, but here it's real. And it's laid out in front of you. You're like kids in a candy store. Every adventure on every expedition, this is the whole thing they're going for, is to find Arcana. And they'd be happy to have one Arcana, to find at the end of a quest. But here you have this incredible table full of it. And for the moment, you can reject the question about you can't get back through the window into the real dimension. But everything's been confusing about this. You fought yourselves, as you recall. There was alternate you and real you, and gosh, I think we all got confused once or twice about who was who. But here we are now in this other universe, and if you go take a look out the door, it does seem like this exactly replicates the place you just were, just facing the opposite direction. And you think you could go out into, the world from here, not trapped in this room forever, but will it be the same exact world? We don't know. And so I leave you with that. And of course, you probably want to be reminded about all the great arcana that's sitting on the table. This is every adventurer's dream. You never get to do this in a regular game. It's like magic item after magic item. There's a horned mask here. And there's a medallion with a picture of a leech on it. And there is a black orb. And there's a flute. And there's a big book. And there is a skull cap. And a beehive. And a glove. Except that, which you guys got the illusory glove, if you'll recall, in the last one. It turned out to be just a rock. But it's a single glove. There's a cup. And a shield. And a glass lion. And a needle. And just a box, regular box, about the same size as your box of Skellies, Nix. And all those things are sitting out on the table for your enjoyment. What will you do? Oh my.
Well, friends, looks like we hit the jackpot. Does anyone want to go first and pick out their first piece of arcana?
Do you think this is the real ones and not like another fake one, and we've got to go to a different, universe or something to get the real ones? Because the last ones were fake, right?
Yes, well, but these look real to me.
Well, the last ones look real until they turned into rocks.
There's only one way to find out.
Yes, that's right. We're just going to have to try them out. There's many to choose from.
Well, I do think that horned mask looks kind of scary. I'm a bit afraid to try it, but I kind of am compelled to at the same time.
Yeah, that looks like a good one. I might try this glove out, see how that fits.
The Michael Jackson jokes just... it's so hard not to.
Of course we don't. That's true.
Of course we don't know who that is.
Yeah, well, no, Michael Jackson exists in all universes. He's like Flurf.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can't underestimate how popular that guy was and still is.
Right.
Because I remember watching a documentary a while back where they were talking to people in the Amazon rainforest. They're asking them about, do you know what this is? Do you know what that is? And they're like, no, we don't have any idea what that is. And they're like, do you know who Michael Jackson is? They're like, oh yeah, Michael Jackson.
Damn, like uncontacted tribes type shit, or
that's
like
crazy.
Well, not completely uncontacted, but they were pretty primitive, just like pretty remote, and they still knew who he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so it sounds like I've got my eyes on the horned mask. It sounds like Percy has his eyes on the glove. What about Nyx? Is there anything Nyx is looking?
I think I will check out this little lion.
Oh, the glass lion.
The glass lion.
Did we all, by the way, just
lion.
out of curiosity, metagamingly, did we all make a Google Doc list of all the items that Sean was listing them off?
No.
How did you even remember what he... Never mind.
I just wrote them down when he just now went over them.
Yeah.
I have my notebook handy.
It's your handy gamer's notebook. Yeah, and that's where mine are too. Well, if you, now, it's hard to figure out what any given arcana might do or might be. But the actual rules state that basically you make a will save when you get it to get a sense of what it does. So as you pick up that horned mask, why don't you make a will save?
All good. I rolled exactly 11, which is my will score.
Exactly 11. Well, that's great. Well, you realize if you put this mask on, that you will take on a bestial form, and you'll have massive claws that do D10 damage, but you'll completely lose the ability to speak. And that, if you go to sleep later on, when you go to sleep, wake up, then you'll be yourself again. But once you put on the mask, that's it. You can take the mask back off, and you still have the bestial form until you sleep. And you can't speak. So it's a good thing you didn't put it on now, because then for the rest of the game, the rest of the podcast, you would have to be not speaking or grunting.
Yeah, that would be
so. So it's a good thing you figured out what it does before you put it on.
And barely with just the 11. So, well, I don't put it on in that case, but I will retain it in my possession.
Okay, so don't forget what it does, because you never know when you might need it. And. So, I believe that Percy was rather interested in that beautiful, shiny, sequined glove.
Yeah, among other things, now I'm got my eye on that flute because I realized I actually have a flute in my possession.
So you can already play. We'll presume that if you have a flute, you can play it.
Yeah. Although, am I just making that up? Where I don't even see flute, but somehow I thought I had a flute. But regardless, I'll have a flute.
Yep, that's right.
So I'm gonna try that flute first.
Okay. Well, you pick up the flute and go ahead and make a will save as you ponder the flute. Let's see if you can see what it does exactly. No,
I got under my will.
Okay, well then you've got it. So you realize that if you were to play this flute, then everyone within 15 feet, whatever that is, would have to pass a will save, or they would turn feral. They become feral people, and they would do nothing but try to attack the nearest living thing until they could pass a will save again on their own.
Ooh, it's a feral flute.
And so, Nix, what was it that you had picked up?
Oh, cat
Giant
aggro.
cat just attacked.
I knew it was.
Lynn.
I knew it was coming while I'm holding a glass lion.
Oh, that's right.
So the glass lion was what I
make a will
just picked
save.
up.
Make a will save. See if you can tell what it does.
Yes.
Well,
Rolled right on my will.
if you take this lion and then you can make it shatter all the glass in a room, but you can also make it shatter something that you're holding or that you're touching. Just that you're touching. You don't have to be holding it. So you could touch somebody's sword and use this glass lion to make his sword break. Or you can have all the glass and crystal shatter in any given room at any given time. Whether you'll ever survive, to use that someday, probably not. It's our last episode of this. But that's what it does. And that is that. Now, we could just go round and round and round playing with these things.
We could, but I'm curious what happens when you look through the glass lion.
Yeah, that's a good question. You can look through it if you like.
You don't want to shatter yourself.
Well, if you hold it up to the light and look through it, I'm just curious if there's anything you see. Perhaps you see how the other half lives.
No, what you see is an amazing discovery that the light is refracted into rainbows. It scatters throughout the room through its prism-like effect of his dragon-like body, or his lion-like body. But there's no other wacky or supernatural effect.
Oh, that's disappointing.
And your eyes don't shatter.
That's not
But
disappointing.
yeah, so that's not disappointing. So much else out here. Don't forget, you got to give Laddie her 1/5 of all the Arcana for guiding you here. Of course, you guys will be hard pressed to carry all this stuff out.
We have to give her at least one Arcana. She doesn't have to know.
It's gonna be pretty obvious.
Exactly.
You guys are gonna be weighed down like giant piles of Arcana.
Yeah.
We have what? There's 13, right? So we need to give her like what, 2, or what? Not a fifth, not. Yeah, that'd be like close to a fifth, right?
Yeah. 2 seems fair.
Yeah, I don't know if she knows what a fifth is, but she'll demand what she wants probably. But yeah, we will have to carry all this shit out. And I think now I will try on this glove.
Okay, well, I guess you'd like to make a will save first.
Well,
See if you
yes,
can
I
figure
will.
out what it is before you put it on.
Yeah. I got a 4. So that's good.
Okay, well, this is like a withering glove. Despite its sequined nature, if you were to touch somebody with this glove, they'd have to make a strength save, or they would shrink down to like a husk. And their strength score would be cut in half, and all their attacks would be impaired. And they'd be that way until they took a long rest. Just shrivel down to the husk of a person. A mere shell. And who else eyes the table greedily? What catches your attention?
Skullcap.
The skullcap.
Skullcap.
The skullcap. You put on. Do you want to put on a skullcap? No. You want to see what the skullcap does first. I assume.
I guess.
I assume.
Okay. Yeah, I made my will save.
Okay.
I got an 8.
Well, if you put this on, you'll be able to dig into the innermost thoughts of whoever your target is. Now, they can make a will save to resist it. But if they don't resist with their will save, you'll be able to read their innermost thoughts and desires. And worries and fears. See the very inside of their mind.
Excellent.
Yeah. Can you believe your game master is just going to let you walk out of here with all this awesome stuff? Anybody else want to, you guys could take turns. You can start
Now
grabbing
I'm
stuff
starting-
like Christmas morning.
Now I'm starting to doubt this whole thing.
Well, I haven't picked something up for a while. I went first, and I haven't
No,
got
you
to go again. So I'm gonna check out the needle.
A little needle is sitting on a lovely little pillow, it's a little box. So it's a special needle. And why don't you go ahead and make a will save to see if you can figure out what that thing does as you look into the eye of the needle.
I rolled exactly 11 again, and you can. I did it in Discord. You can check that I'm.
I believe you. I believe you. Well, you realize that if you were to poke somebody with this needle, if they take critical damage, like down into their strength, and they take critical damage, they will explode in a bloody mess.
Jesus Christ.
There'll be no go get a long rest. It'll be they explode. Yep, it is the pressure needle. If your target takes critical damage, boom, they explode. It's very, very powerful. And you guys can take turns if you want, or you can just start shouting out,
Leech.
Well, you could
Leech.
look at that medallion with the leech on it. Why don't you go ahead and make a will save? And hopefully our listeners like listening to you guys make
Yes.
will saves, because we're doing a lot of it. We realize that if you have this and you touch somebody, they have to make a will save, or you'll swap strength scores with them. And you'll have their strength, and vice versa. And that will last until you take a rest. Not a long rest, just a little rest. So if you have low strength, you can touch somebody, and if they fail a will save, it'll swap. Mm-hmm. And
I consider myself to be a reader, so I will check out this book here.
all right, why don't you make a will save as you pick it up? See if you can figure out exactly what that is.
Made it?
Well, if you read this book, you'll be speaking a strange sounding language to your own ears, but every living thing will be able to understand you and reply to you in the same babbling tongue if you were to wish it. So you can talk to a fish, in this language, reading out of the book. The book teaches you, I guess, how to speak the language. You have to have the book open, and so
Okay.
any living thing, that's very vague. So, algae, bacteria, I don't know. The implications are astounding.
Could talk to the bacteria in my gut.
Yeah, and it's
Ask it why I have so much flatulence.
and you can see why in this game that they just don't hand out the Arcana like candy, right? I mean, all this stuff in any normal game, as you gamers know, would be really, really potentially unbalancing, for lack of a better word, or to take it up to this sort of ridiculous superhero type level, which could be fun. But they make no attempt to even justify that they should be balanced, and I love that. There's something in the rules at some point where he writes, yeah, they can do anything. They don't follow rules. They're massively powerful. People try to kill you to get them from you, and that type of thing. So, anyone else want to keep playing with stuff?
I would, but I do have a question. I've been trying to sort of keep up and type up brief descriptions of all these for whatever it's worth. I'm sure we're not going to get to keep them. But what did the glass lion do? I forgot, because I got derailed by my own glass onion joke. Trying to.
It will shatter, glass onion. It will shatter all glass onions and turnips and radishes. No, it'll shatter all glass and crystal in a room. But it also, if she were to touch something specific, she could shatter it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That does not apply to living things.
Not unless they're made of glass, I assume.
Yeah. Well,
I
she
can shatter a sword, and it's not made of glass.
Anything, any one thing that she touches is not glass. So yeah, again, and I honestly think it's part of what makes this game cool. But there's like these giant question marks that pop up with all of this Arcana, all over the place.
All a little vague.
Yeah, and it's a very minimal system anyway, which, like I say, is what I like. But it really forces the players and the game master to bring a lot to the table. You know what I mean? So as a creative person, I kind of like those kind of systems. But that raises some questions when it comes to Arcana, that is for sure. So who else finds something that they take a shine to? And of course, if you get bored playing with this stuff, you can always pack it all up and leave with it and see what happens too. So, but yeah, who's got a real hankering for one of these things?
Well, I'm kind of curious about this black orb.
The black orb. Something compelling about all black orbs, almost like a black hole. But why don't you make a will save and see what is so compelling about this particular black orb?
Ooh, this time I failed. I rolled a 15.
Okay, you're not sure what the heck it does, but you could play with it.
Yeah.
A dangerous suggestion.
We can, maybe we will save that for Laddie. Maybe she'll be able to figure out what it is.
So I assume picking it up doesn't... I mean, it causes me to have the will save, but it doesn't immediately have an action.
Right, and you can make the will save even without picking it up just to figure out what it does. But, yeah, you just do... I think it's fair to say you would get the sense this is an extremely dangerous object. That if you get the sense, maybe if you don't understand it best, leave it alone for now, put it in your bag, and try again later to figure out what it is. Nothing that says you can't sit here, though, and make will saves over and over and over and over until you figure it out.
Well,
but you get the sense it's really dangerous, and you shouldn't screw with it too much.
Well, I think... God,
again, you're. It's been established you're not the brightest.
Yeah, well, he's pissed that he couldn't identify it, and he looks at it, picks it up, fails his will save, can't identify it, and he just wants to throw it.
Okay.
Like at the wall, and just it's not anything. It's just a piece of crap.
Okay. What wall do you throw it at?
Oh God, I didn't realize that was going to be a question. I didn't think it mattered.
We don't want to trap ourselves in here.
Well, the floor really probably would be where he would throw it.
Okay. Well, the floor is obliterated, and
Jesus Christ.
It's luckily you're not like hanging in space, right? But it's like that wet, soggy ground. You're in marshland, right? There was like an underground river nearby. You guys heard at the bottom of that well. So I imagine like all the paving, the flagstones and everything they just disappear. And so everything kind of, the big table just kind of squish. And it's not like in a quagmire where you're going to sink or anything, but the table's kind of like settles down and finds its way in the mud, and pools of water start rushing in, and reeds that were pressed down for so long suddenly pop back up, and the floor is marshy. And it is marshy. And the
Marshy.
and the black orb lies there, and you get the sense through experiment that the black orb will obliterate what it touches, if that is your intent.
This is, well, we are really playing with some very dangerous items, and I don't think they're fit for anyone's hands, not even ours. But of course, it's better ours than others. But
Well, if you guys don't want them, I'll
Well,
take
don't
them
think we should
all.
give Laddie this orb.
yes, and I don't like the gleam in her eye when she said she'll take them all. She was way too excited. Yes, I think we ought to just take a minute to compose ourselves and not get overly greedy and drunk with power. But look at this box. Look at this box here. Isn't that look interesting? What's in the box?
Well,
I'll make a
you could open it.
Just one more for me. That's it. This box. And I got it.
Well, you realize in this box, you can use this box to summon 2 orbs of light that will obey your commands. And you can hurl them at a target for D12 damage. And that'll destroy the little orb of light. But you can summon 2 orbs each day from this box.
Yeah, so now we've got orbs. Got two of them. We don't need the black one anymore, so
There's a rolling in orbs.
yes, I think yes, I'm getting quite soggy, so I don't know. If you're going to pick something else out, do it now, and then I think we should maybe head out.
What's left?
Well, there's a beehive. Saw that. The cup. There's
And a
cup.
shield and a beehive. Did you say the beehive?
I said a beehive.
It's a beehive haircut.
I will check out this beehive.
Well, why don't you make a will save as you approach it?
12. I
Well-
made it.
With this doom hive, you can call forth a 20-foot buzzing cloud. It doesn't say of what. A buzzing cloud, presumably of some sort of insect, right? And it'll move 10 feet away from you every round, and anything within it just loses D6 strength every round while they're in it.
Jesus.
Not hit points, but strength. Yeah. So there's a doom hive, which I think might also be a great name for a metal band, but probably already is one. If you're in a band called Doom Hive, then let us know. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think you said there's the cup. I haven't been keeping track. The cup is left, and
And the shield, and I think that's it, yeah.
Okay. Well, who wants to drink from the cup? Will you choose wisely?
Yeah, I was just going to say, hopefully you choose wisely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not very penitent. That, whatever,
Sorry. Sorry.
I think you're a penitent man.
Penitent man.
I think you will pass.
Penitent man shall pass.
Well, does that mean you 5 times? Because it's penta... Anyway.
We are dating ourselves with our...
Yeah.
We're dating ourselves with our film references here, but that's okay. So yeah, you've got a cup and a shield. Who wants to play with what?
Well, I suppose a shield sounds protective, so I'll check it out.
All right, why don't you check that out with a will save?
Oh, even worse than last time with a 17.
No. Yeah, you've got absolutely no idea what it does. You want to put it on and wave it around and mess with it, or do you want to give it to somebody else to look at, or what would you like to do?
Well, I think his first instinct would be, it's not even Arcana, it's not magical at all. And he'd just don it as a shield as though he were going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And
I'd say you give the ones that aren't Arcana to Laddie, but maybe that's immoral. I don't know, but she will never know the difference.
No, I agree. I'm just going to put it on so that in case we run into any bad guys on the way out.
well, it will work as
it
will work as normal armor in addition to its other. So you've got one more armor when it comes to that. I think you already got modern armor, so you got 2 armor.
A shield.
Yeah.
Is that true of the skull cap as well?
Just No. It is just
I'm still going to put it on.
Yeah. In fact, your modern armor already assumes like a helmet, really. So, but it's like a skin-tight skull cap. You could put it on. I mean, if you're just going to wear it around all the time, you got to let me know when you got to have a target, so you're not overwhelmed constantly. With everyone else's thoughts.
Right.
Like Kate and
Genevieve. Yeah. So now there's just the cup left.
Oh, well, I know I said I was done, but that cup... Anyone want to bet on what it might do? I have a theory. I'm hoping that you drinketh from the cup, and it restores your stats. Your strength stat specifically, which is down 2. I'm just gonna... But I'll make a will save.
Okay.
Oh, 3.
Well, yeah, this is not going to do that for you, unfortunately. But if you have this cup, you can swap bodies with someone else that drinks from the cup. Now, they could try to resist it with a will save, or if they're agreeable, it'll just happen. But you would keep your own will score, but the rest of your stats, you would have their stats because it's their body, but your will would still be the same, willpower. And that's what the spirit cup does. And so
I could have anyone's body with this cup that I cherish.
Well, you'd be inside their body, yeah. You would swap bodies with them.
Yeah, so, now, I'm not going to take advantage of anyone and their bodies. I will tell you that now.
Well, certainly it seems you should at least get consent first.
Yes, we should just move on. I think that's it, isn't it? We've gone through them all.
Yeah, you've gone through them all. And of course, yeah. And now what, though? Now what? Where are you exactly? You came through into this, and it wasn't just like a regular window. You guys have established that to your satisfaction, and it's not there behind you. When you guys were crawling through it one by one, you saw each other disappear into this place. But otherwise, it seems just like the fact that the floor is obliterated. It seems just like the shrine of the skull of the Star Child that you were just in.
Yeah, Well, first of all, we've got to pack these into some sort of something to carry it all in.
Yeah, and it's because every expedition is assumed to have lanterns and climbing and mapping equipment and whatnot. We're going to assume that includes some large bags, sacks, at the very least.
Yeah.
Which is... Yeah.
Well, yeah, so we can each carry the ones that we, picked up
Yeah.
and figured out.
I'm going to rule that it's probably pretty obvious you guys are carrying a bunch of shit, but other than that...
Mm-hmm. All right, well...
So now where to?
Oh, how do we get out of here?
Well, there is a way in here, just like in the other world, in the real world, there was a way into that room. So presumably the entire complex that you came through is here, as well. You could get out that way, but in terms of getting back through the wall, through the window that no longer exists, there seems to be no way. That you feel it in your souls that you could spend 3 hours playing and trying to come up with ideas of how to get back into that world.
We could obliterate the wall.
But I think I'm getting
Not
a
a
hint
terrible
that
idea.
there-
Well, never say never. It's not a
Okay.
terrible idea.
What was your idea, Percy?
Oh, well, just go out the way, the same way that we come in.
Well, yeah, we could, but I'm worried that we'll be in a different universe or something.
Yes, well...
Well, if we end up in a different universe, then we don't have to share.
Oh.
yes,
I don't like to share.
yes, and, well, I don't know about that, but in our Arcana might not exist in that previous universe. We've got the ones that we know are real. We might as well stay in this world where they are real. If that is the case, we don't know. We'll have to find out.
Oh, I'd have thought Mr. Moon had to collect them in the real world and then hide them here to keep them away from people. But I don't
Yes.
know.
Perhaps. But as far as obliterating things, we've lost that orb. I thought you shattered it.
No, it
threw-
doesn't
in
shatter.
the
I
ground.
threw it on,
it
the
doesn't
floor,
shatter.
but yeah, I think it's still there. I picked it back up, but I don't know. I mean, I could throw it at the wall, but I don't know what to do. I mean, we
Well, I
could
actually
just go
thought.
out-
I mean, that's why I asked you in the first place, like what wall you were throwing it at, because I had that same thought actually, even though there's like no way out. I was like, well, you never know. You got player ingenuity to consider,
or player random throwing shit.
right? Which is often the same thing, right?
Well, if you're going to throw it, go ahead.
Well, do you think we could dig out through the mud? I mean, it would probably take a long time.
I mean, we can just go out through that door, can't we?
Yes. I'm for just going out
Well,
the
we
door.
can try it, but I'm just worried we'll be in a different place. But it could be that Daddy won't even be there in this world, so it might not matter. We might be probably rich and not have to share at all. So I say we got the door as well. I agree.
All
right then.
Okay, so seeing if that orb will obliterate a wall between dimensions, we're going to set that question aside for the moment, and you go out the way you came. Now, you don't trigger any of the same effects when you go through the wall where Father Moon's head, remember on the wall, was like shooting out laser lights. There's none of that. And you get all the way through, and back out through the walkways, through the head. And of course, it's all exactly the same. It's just facing the opposite direction. And it's amazing how quickly you acclimate to that too, But as you walk out into, and it's dusk now because it was daylight when you first came in here, and look out onto the marshes, and they seem just the same. And off in the distance, you can see the pool, the worm pool, which is as far as Laddie would go. And you can see the rabbit ears on Laddie's hat sticking up from behind some of the reeds. And she stands up. She's a little speck in the distance, but she waves real big and is yelling something snotty sounding, but it's just on the wind. You can't really make out what it is. And she's, again, it's all the opposite direction. Where it was, you can tell from the sun, though, where it was east, it's now west, And, that's what you see out here. But otherwise, it's the same. Feels just like the same marshlands. The air smells the same. Still the same dampness on your cheek and your exposed skin. And it's still the same cold weather, because these are definitely not hot marshes. And that's where you find yourself.
Well, everything seems the same as up it's the opposite, but I can live with that.
Well,
it just takes some getting
it don't
used to.
smell the opposite. It just looks the opposite. It's kind of weird. It's like we're in a mirror, but only for optical things or something. I don't understand. That's very odd.
Oh, don't try to figure it out. You'll
I
hurt
think
your
I already
brain.
did.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not
Just eat a radish.
eat a radish. And it's not like the bizarro world, down is not up, good is not evil, black is not white, but you can think of it as probably a parallel universe, though, for sure. But one in which everything seems to be more or less the same, just reoriented. I don't think you haven't tried to talk to Laddie yet or anything, though, so...
Oh, Laddie.
You never
Maybe
know.
Laddie's an actual woman, or man, or whatever. She wasn't in the last one. He wasn't. I don't remember.
They were ambiguous. No, she
Laddie.
calls it she. Her pronouns are she and her. Laddie's
Well, they were in the last world.
She just so... It's true. That's true.
I can read their
Oh,
mind.
that's true. Can you do it from a distance so we know what they want to be called?
Let's try it.
Well, it's pretty far away target, but yeah, you
To get closer.
you give it a shot. There's nothing that says specifically have to get closer. I guess this is where Game Master purview comes in, but I got no special reason for wanting you to get closer necessarily. But your target, of course, does get a will save to resist the reading of their mind, and Laddie has got a 12 will. And I just rolled a natural 1. What is Laddie is about all you get is seething impatience and chronic dissatisfaction. Other than if there's a wall of that. But
Well,
like
I guess you didn't find out her pronouns, and that's okay. We have probably other things to consider. Let's see what's... Let's go up and talk
Him.
to her.
They,
I have
them.
an idea.
They.
Yes, they. I have an idea of what we can give to them. We found some objects as we were exploring. We found a toy horse.
Or I've got to
And we
rock.
found this really cool lantern. Yes, and the rock. I suggest that we give those
Them.
to her. Them.
Okay.
she is a her
Well.
though.
Well, we don't know
She's a
that.
her.
We don't know that though. That's
Well, because it's the new
the
universe.
new universe.
That's right.
Exactly. That's the whole point that Roach is stupidly trying to make.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah, better safe than sorry with pronouns. Never want to assume. So, let's. Yes. Well, let's just go up and. She seems very impatient.
she does.
So hard. I know.
So you get you wind your way through back up to where the worm pool was, and Laddie stands all the way up as you get closer, and she wiggles her fingers together, and she's like, ha 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 ha. She's just almost jumping up and down. She goes, 1/5 of that Arcana. I can see you got those fat sacks. All right. Wait a minute. Instead of 1/5, maybe I'll just take it all. Showtime, fellas. And 2 entire detachments of marshlanders and rivermen and villagers rise up from a lot of them wearing like wreaths in their hats. They're all disguised all around. He goes, my daddy died for that Arcana, so I think we're just gonna take it all. And when I say detachments, these are groups of like 50 people. Your individual attacks against them won't even have any effect. And yet if they attack you individually, they're going to be enhanced attacks. So you'll have to be clever, and yes, this is your one chance to use all your wild items. And again, it's a little tricky though. I've never actually played a detachment situation before, but it's a cool thing about these rules. But you individually targeting them with your weapons isn't going to have any real effect because you're shooting at a crowd of 50, right? But they have like a hit points, their hit points are what's the word I'm looking for? Like communal. They have like communal hit points and communal stats and all that, and they do communal damage. But if you have stuff like bombs or rockets or whatever, or big ass magical items, but it remains to be seen, how you would interpret whether an individual Arcana, how that could have an effect on one person. So we could try that out. But as usual, players will generally go first. But yeah, it's overwhelming. I mean, it's this huge. There's like 100 guys out here, and Laddie is just. You always had a bad feeling about Laddie. I don't think anyone really liked Laddie in the first place, and Laddie just laughing very smugly.
Well, I feel like
sneering.
I feel like a real idiot for even bothering to argue about pronouns now that this person turned out to be a big fucking cunt.
Yeah, so cunt can be male or female.
It's true.
So definitely a cunt. And I'm sorry to use such foul language, but it's true. And I've got an idea, though. I would like to swap bodies, and then I can see what's going on below the belt.
Okay. God. Well, you gotta get her to drink.
We'll settle this once and for all.
In case I wasn't that clear before, though, you both have to drink from the cup. You have to drink from the cup, and then the other person drinks it. Then you swap bodies.
Well, before we get started in this fight, how about we have a toast?
Try anything, man.
No, I'll just say, look, you want your Arcana, you can grab it. It's right here in this box, and I'll open it up, and I'll let those two orbs of light come out, and I'll sick them on her.
Oh, my.
At least one of them on her.
Okay. Yeah, and I will point out that these are like equivalent to bombs, though. They will do blast damage, so I wouldn't waste more than one on her.
Well, yeah, I'll do...
Maybe you should do one at each...
detachment.
I forgot what attachment.
Yeah.
All right.
Detachment.
So there's 2 detachments, you said?
Yeah, detachment's about 50 people, so it's like 2 detachments worth. We'll think of it as her left wing and her right wing. And of course, they're all, getting ready for action, but do you want to, send these orbs into them to explode?
Yeah, one on each.
Well, the orbs rise up out of the box at your command and shoot over, and boom! So you can roll a d12 for each of them. And of course, as I say, they've got like a communal hit points that this would be deducted from, or hit protection, excuse me.
Well, first detachment, I rolled a 12.
Oh my!
Nice.
And the second one, I rolled a 6.
Okay. All right. Well, after the explosion, that one that hits in the first detachment, you can see they're shaken. They're not, they're not broken yet, but you've got them down to like you wiped out all their HP. They're just now hovering where they haven't lost any strength yet. And when the detachment, instead of taking critical damage, the detachment just breaks and routes, panics and runs away and is disbanded. But they're on the edge of it. The others take it slightly more manfully. And gee, what do you do? Roach?
Oh, yeah. How far away is Laddie at this point?
Yeah, like you could hurl a baseball at her. It's a shouting distance.
Of all the, I think
You can hurl a black orb at her.
I think that he will literally pitch a fastball at her in the form of a black orb.
Okay, all right, and I'm only going to bring this up because this is from the book, and listeners might have the book, but I just forgot to tell you earlier that it has no effect on living tissue. So I should probably tell you that before you pick it up and hurl it. But wait, you didn't make the roll, so I guess you.
I did for that one.
Thing about it.
Oh no, I didn't. That's right. I threw it at the.
Yeah.
No, you threw it on the ground because you didn't know.
Why don't you, as you pick it up again, why don't you make a will save to see if you find out that it won't have any effect on living tissue? Otherwise, you can hurl it.
And then be extremely disappointed when she does not.
Right.
Okay, let's see. Nope, failed 16, so he's just going to do it.
All right, he hurls it. I think it was somebody writing in saying, technically, the black orb has no effect on living tissue, so Laddie should not have been obliterated. Even though Laddie deserves it, but she flinches. That's satisfying at least, as the orb smacks into her and bounces off her and goes into a puddle, and she looks a little like she's waiting for something terrible to happen, and she looks up, goes ha, and then she looks like she's trying to dive into the puddle to get it. But we'll worry about that when she does something. And what are you doing, Nix?
Now she has the big orb of destruction.
I am going to send a buzzing cloud.
Okay.
After her.
Okay. So the buzzing cloud appears and it zooms over to her and it surrounds her. It moves about. I don't think it matters too much how fast exactly it moves in this particular situation. It's enough to get onto her. Now, you roll d6 damage because as long as she's in it, she's gonna have to run and try to get out. But you can hear her screaming, "Ow! Ow! 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 Ow!" And first,
I only rolled a 1,
okay.
Unfortunately, but that's strength. So
okay. That's strength. Yeah, that's right. And you can hear her. She's slapping him away at first, but you hear her splashing and stumbling through the marsh. It's terrible. And then the detachments open fire. There's a crack of musket fire and pistols and other things. But you guys are missed widely by that shaken regiment. And, you can hear the bullets whistling all around you. But the second one, actually, you know what I did? I'm so stupid. I rolled to hit. Even after 6 episodes of playing this and playing it off air, how much I still want to roll to hit, which is really, to me, the coolest thing about this system is there is no to-hit roll. It's an enhanced attack, that first one against you guys. And surprisingly, it only does 1 point of damage. But the other... Oh my god, the other one rolls a 12. Which is going to be very bad for you guys as you're boom, 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 riddled with bullets. And that's 12 HP.
Ooh.
So some of you already have low strength. So let's take a moment to calculate that.
Does Laddie have to make a save on her strength for critical?
Well, it's not called critical damage. She's just taking strength loss. So if the rule just said it causes critical damage, I probably would have made her.
Okay, so...
I don't think it's...
Okay, I thought any time you lost strength,
anytime you lose strength because your hit points went down into it. And if you're losing...
Okay.
But there could be, you could lose strength from certain poisons or disease. Brian, what was that?
Gotcha.
So that was what, 13 points of damage altogether?
Yeah, I think so. He did one,
Well, no.
1 point, and then 12.
Yeah, that's
I thought
true.
you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Altogether.
Yeah.
But your armor would have obliterated the first one. Think of them as two separate attacks.
Okay.
So,
Well-
and I forgot
Oh,
to
that's right.
subtract your armor, but
So does the armor also detract or subtract off the 12? Or
yeah, any attack
so
against
it's
you,
per
would
instance.
take-
Okay. It's not like HP where it goes away.
You would
Yeah.
take 2 away. Yeah, and you would take 2 away because you have that shield too.
All right.
I still have. I definitely,
Good point.
went down into more down into my strength.
Okay, well you better roll that critical damage, or roll to see if you take critical damage.
Yeah, and that was what? What did I roll for
Your
this?
strength or less, your new strength.
Strength
Whatever
save.
your-
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult.
yeah, could be.
Oh my god, I had a 5. Only 5 strength, and I rolled a 5. I
Okay,
don't
no,
know if I
that's
need
right.
to get
Equal
under
to
it
or
or...
less. No, you're okay for now. You're right at the edge.
Okay.
You're right at the edge. Anyone
Wow.
else get down into the strength?
I did.
I did, and I barely also rolled exactly
Okay.
on my.
So I would have
Modified
taken
strength.
0 from the 1-pointer. And then from the 12-pointer, I took 10, which obliterated my 9 HP, took me to 13 of 14 strength. And I rolled a 6. So I'm good still.
Okay, that's good. Good job. But now you know you're in trouble, though, because every time now there's going to be that danger, and which lends some urgency to the combat. However, one of these detachments, looked like they were ready to break. They were afraid of your magical powers, that you guys obviously have. And I'm going to do the reverse order last time. What do you do, Nix? Maybe that wasn't
I'm gonna
good.
send.
I
It
don't
doesn't
remember.
I don't know.
It doesn't
I went
matter,
first,
yeah.
and then whatever.
Okay. I'm gonna send the buzzing cloud after the detachment that has had their HP obliterated.
Okay. And you send it in, and go ahead and roll a d6.
2.
And I really don't interpret this thing as being so big that it hovers over 50 guys, you know what I mean? But I think in this particular case, they're already broken enough, that that's going to do the trick. I mean, that knocks them down. Well, they've got to make their strength roll. They're not completely going to run away from this, but they don't make it. They roll a 13, and that's going to be enough to break the detachment. They running back into the marshes. Laddie, who's just been spared the cloud, stands up and yells, "You cowards! You bunch of cowards!" As they're running away. "It's not worth it, Laddie," says one as they run. And then I guess I'd never let Laddie go, but that's just on me. Well, she was having trouble with a cloud. She was too busy smacking whatever it is in that cloud. And how about you, Roach? What do you do?
Laddie still has HP. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's still got HP. She's not down into her strength.
Roach is going to look around for the big book and grab it and pick it up and start reading it and start communicating with any nearby marsh creatures such as alligators or crocodiles that they should come and attack these these horrible people, which is probably pointless and futile, but that's all I could think of.
No, I mean, I can't see why that wouldn't work. The only question in my mind is how long it takes enough of them to assemble, right? But, and you're saying like marsh creatures, you mentioned a few specifically, I'm assuming you just meant marsh creatures, so suddenly, Laddie like shakes her leg and you look at lizards all crawling up her leg, frogs start jumping out and, biting her.
Snapping turtles that bite her toes off.
Snapping turtles, it's awful. She starts screaming, and Laddie's not going to make a will save to stay here and get ate by all these creatures. And of course, the others will do what they can to harass, the others. But I don't, I think maybe interpreting that as a D6 damage against that entire group. It's kind of it's not exactly a blast weapon, but I think it could be seen as such. And they'll take 4 more points of damage. That detachment you already did 6 to, which puts them. You've done 10 to them, and I think they would probably run at that too, though. I mean, every creature starts turning against you. Why would they stay here? Obviously, you guys have collected far more powerful Arcana than they even suspected when they decided they were going to come take it all. Now you're faced, though, with to get back to your homeland, if it is in fact the same homeland, you'll have to get a boat, go to Hope's End. Hope's End is where all these people were from in the first place who came after you. So,
can I, if she's running away, I wanted to summon my frozen cloud, my original Arcanum.
Yeah.
Freeze her in her tracks.
Okay. All right. So she's completely frozen. She has to make a strength test to break out. She only has a 10 strength. She's like, and she rolls a 7 though. She breaks out, keeps running.
I'll let it go.
Okay. Well, you guys could shoot her or something if you really want to track her down.
I want to play my flute. It will turn her feral if I'm in 15 feet and.
Well, you're not.
She has to
But
make
you
a
can
will
chase her
save.
and play it. So yeah.
Chase after her.
Play on your flute.
Like the Pied Piper chasing the rats out of Hamlet.
Right. Stop it! She says, she puts her hands against her ears. She gets to make that will save, but she doesn't. She rolls a 19. And she's like, stop it! And she
Yeah, that's it. You're an animal.
just splashing through the marshes on all 4 and turns around and snarls at you and then rushes off, and the last thing you hear is unmistakably Laddie's voice. And you have cowed the detachments. They weren't the world's best or most powerful detachments. They were just simple marsh folk. But hey, armed as you were with massively powerful Arcana, you have at least some small taste of what it would be like to be able to wield such power throughout a whole campaign. But you won't be, because we've reached the end of our 6 episodes, and we're going to leave it with you guys for now. There's a question mark, though, that we're leaving it with. You still haven't gotten back to Bastion. Hope's End was such a crappy place where everything smelled like fish, and all the people there, I'm sure they will learn to accommodate you despite this misunderstanding that has just occurred. But you'll have to somehow deal with them in order to get passage back on a boat across the ocean. So that's all up in the air. And then whether you're even in the same world you left.
Maybe we don't want to go home. We're explorers. We will just keep exploring, just keep going and going. Never return to Bastion.
Well, I like that idea too. Somehow it really fits the whole theme of Into the Odd. I assume you guys have odder and odder adventures in the future. But that's it for this series of Into the Odd. I like the system. We're playing it off air too. Kind of a modified version of it in a campaign that we play. And I liked it. It's probably been my discovery of the year, although I'm a late adopter. I think it came out in 2015. But I could think of all kinds of adaptations for it now. But that's it also for this year. We're going to have a break through December.
Yeah, we'll be back on the first Monday of January in 2024.
Yes, we will.
Is that actually New Year's Day? I think it might be, but I don't.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then I lied. And probably, well, maybe, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
January 1st
Although
is the very first Monday in January.
Well, then I guess we will be on January 1st. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well. Yeah, because we know that, New Year's Eve, everybody's going to be out. But January 1st, everybody's going to be laying around hungover listening to podcasts.
Yeah, bring your hungover ass and listen to whatever we're going to be doing next.
That's right. That's right. See you then.
Hey everybody, if you like our podcast, don't forget to leave us a good rating and or review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, or wherever you're able. Subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Goonies_world, and check out our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.